Welcome to the Black Sparrow Media Internet Broadcast Network.
You are listening to Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a podcast about Linux, open source, and amateur radio for everyone. Now here are your hosts, Cheryl, W5MOO, and Bill, NE4RD.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is episode 620 of Linux in the Ham Shack, the most terrific amateur radio podcast on the internet. Thanks for joining us for this episode. This week, we're telling you about what we've been up to, along with taking a jaunt through some short topics in the world of amateur radio, Linux, and open source. But before we get to that, we should introduce ourselves. For our silent key Russ, K5TUX, I'm Cheryl, W5MOO.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD, and yes, welcome back, and sorry about pushing the podcast. I know everybody expects that podcast to come out on Monday mornings when I click the publish button. But we had Father's Day and weather power stuff and stuff going on in the theater. I just couldn't make it back in time to record at our normal time. So we're recording on an off day here. It's Tuesday, the 23rd of June, and I'll probably get it out tonight, if not very early in the morning, so you can all enjoy this at your leisure and be worried about us not being around. So there you go for that. So let's figure out, what did we do this week, Cheryl?
Well, let's see here. For food, I've been better about cooking. I fixed honey walnut chicken with some broccoli, some Burson-style cheese, homemade, of course, stuffed chicken with the same cheese stuffed into some pepperdew peppers that were wrapped in bacon, and some roasted garlic sour cream mashed potatoes. And last night I had what I call a BELT, which is bacon, egg, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, with some dill pickle pasta salad, which I added a dash of pickle-flavored hot sauce to it. And because of an almost last-minute decision to record tonight, not sure what's for dinner. Maybe another BELT. Who knows? But the pasta salad was gone at lunchtime, though, because it was really good. As far as my computer stuff, paying bills and probate, that's my life right now. And radio. Well, there's a new thing with the radios. Because our weather has been such a chaotic mess, we were having a horrible lightning storm a couple of weeks ago where our neighbor's building was hit and burnt to the ground and trees were being hit and everything else. So 3 a.m., I was madly disconnecting radios and antennas and everything else. So the next time Bill is in Missouri, he's going to get to put all the antenna stuff back together because Russ had a jigsaw puzzle of antenna wires. And I'm not exactly sure
they're all labeled, right?
Oh, yes, of course, because Russ was so good about doing that.
Yeah, we'll have to put like some colored tape on the ones that like disconnect these. The rest you don't have to do.
Exactly. Don't touch the rest of these. Yeah. After I got everything disconnected, I was like, well, I probably didn't have to do all of these, but I was in the dark and like pitch dark. Just feeling around on the back of radios going, yeah, you feel like an antenna wire. Let's unscrew you. So, but yeah, so that was fun. So yeah, you get a huge mess to clean up when you come here. And then today I spent a big chunk of my day outside because the next several days they're calling for horrific rainstorms yet again. So I was trying to get stuff done, get the trash out, get stuff shuffled around, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think I got everything done. So what's Bill been up to?
Well, I mean, the reason why we didn't record the week before was because I was out of town. So, I spent about a week in Monterey, California with my wife, and we had a nice time, ate some food, saw lots of sea lions and seals and all kinds of interesting whales and stuff like that on a whaling trip that we went out and watched, or what, a whale watching trip, not a whaling trip. We weren't stabbing whales or something like that. But we saw a whole bunch of various dolphins, porpoises. We saw a basking shark, which is, I guess, pretty rare sighting. We saw some sneaky whales, sneak whales. So I don't know what they're called.
Okay.
But anyway, saw a humpback whale and then about 11 blue whale. So it was a pretty busy whaling trip or whale watching trip. Even the people that do the trip, they're like, yeah, this is very rare. They're like, I don't normally we can see like maybe one species, maybe two, but to have like 7, 8, or 9 all in one trip, including some very, very rare things like the basking shark. Yeah, that was it was pretty fun. So yeah, we ate a lot of food, and we did a lot of different places to try different beers and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a great trip for that kind of thing. Also got us away from having to do our normal daily working things and stuff like that. So lots of fun. Computer stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be buried in computer stuff here coming shortly, working on Jamboree stuff. So I'm not really doing anything except for that. Radio stuff, same thing. I'm just configuring the same radio over and over again to the computers. So, which of course is the ICOM 7300 Mark IIs. And anything else besides that? Not really. Lots of theater stuff going on. I spent my Father's Day down at the theater, selling concessions and then striking a set. So, yeah, that was my Father's Day. all my kids and everything else were busy. So, so that was that. Well, that gets us on into our topics, and let's see here. I'm just looking at the order. I should probably take the first one, so I will do the very first one here. And this is, it's a weird news week when we're talking about events with dates, because that's, look at 1, 2, 3. Yeah, all three of these topics are date related. The first one here is the ARRL Field Day is happening this weekend. Yes, that's right. So we will, I have to get this podcast out so it's Field Day, because you get all your news from us. So yeah, Field Day is happening June 27th and 28th, 2026. This year's Field Day theme is Amateur Radio, a National Resource. Combined with the ARRL Year of the Club, it provides the perfect opportunity for radio clubs to set up stations in public places to demonstrate ham radio's science, skill, and service to our communities and our nation. The overall objective for Field Day is to contact as many stations as possible on the 160 through 10 meter HF bands, minus the works, as well as all bands above 50 megahertz, and to learn to operate in less than optimal conditions. Many clubs choose to set up in camp-style fashion with portable equipment, temporary antennas, and off-grid power sources. And of course, this came from the ARRL because it is their event. Check out their booklet that gives you all of the extra points that you can collect for your event, which I'm sure you've already planned it. You already know where you're going to be. And yeah, you won't even need any of this information. You already know it's Field Day, because it's always this weekend in June. So yeah, hope I don't think I'll be on. Probably not. I probably won't be on.
You're probably going to be very busy.
Yeah, I have the other stuff to work on, and I also have the theater obligation again this weekend, because yeah, we don't shut down things in the summer for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay, so our next event is the 13 Colonies Special Event 2026. In just a few weeks, one of the most popular summer operating events kicks off, the 13 Colonies Special Event. Now, in its 18th year, the event has grown from special event stations making approximately 12,000 contacts to last year making 496,000 contacts around the world. The event runs from July 1st, 9 a.m. to July 7th, midnight Eastern. This year, the organizers are recognizing America's sesquicentennial, by featuring many locations where the Declaration of Independence was first read in their city or colony. The event consists of one station operating in each of the 13 colonies, K2A through K2M, and 3 bonus stations, WM3PEN in Philadelphia, GB13COL in England, and TM13COL in France. each representing their city, state, or country's role in the America's colonial period. All stations will be offering a special QSL card. A few stations are offering special events within the special event. Philadelphia is participating in both the 13 Colonies special event as well as the World Soccer Tournament special event. Stations who work WM3PEN July 1st through 7th will get credit for both events, and with a QSL request will get a special QSL card for each event. Ham radio operators and SWLs can participate in the event. Stations need only make one contact with each of the participating stations, or they can go for a clean sweep and work all 13 Colony stations and the 3 bonus stations. This year's certificates can be downloaded or ordered online by mail. Operators can keep an eye out for the special event stations by watching many of the DX spotting networks, such as dxsummit.fi. And this information came from the 13 Colonies website.
Right. You only have to work one station to get your certificate. So I think you said each of them. You inserted each.
Sorry. Yeah. The clean sweep was working everything. Sorry.
Yeah. Kind of brought it all together. Yeah. So you only have to work one of the participating stations to get a certificate. Obviously, right. The more you've worked, then the more the little boxes will be checked in that certificate and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. I know it's a pretty popular event, and people are always excited about working and hosting the station as well. So yeah, the next one is me, and of course, this is the big announcement that you probably already know about. Is the National Scout Jamboree is coming up? Why not have me do this one? The National because I didn't finish writing it, so I'm just I'm going to ad lib after I have the stuff I've written here. The National Scout Jamboree occurs generally every 4 years in the U.S. Amateur radio is always a component of the event. The K2BSA has been a station at the National Jamboree event since 1977, and ICOM America has been loaning the transceivers for the event since 2013 to ensure the success of the operation. This year is no different, and this time we get to put several ICOM IC7300 Mark IIs to the test in the operation. Amateur radio demonstrations in order to get several thousand scouts on the air begin July 22nd, and they will conclude on July 31st. Technically, I think it's July 30th because we're leaving on the 31st, and the antennas are coming down Thursday night. The K2BSA team will be, will be active on HF bands 40 and up. Yes, that's 40 and up, primarily on single sideband. We don't do a lot of digital, even though people think kids like watching digital stuff. I'm sorry, WSJTX is like watching paint dry. It's not very exciting. It's not very exciting to explain, and it looks like old man sport. So we basically do single sideband because we want people to talk on the radio, which generally is the most uncomfortable thing for people to do. They come to our tent, they have to talk on the radio, and you'd be surprised they want to talk more and more as soon as they break that very first time. And they're like, can we work another person? Yeah, we can do that for sure. And why do we do 40 and up? Well, that's what we have antennas for. We can throw wires up, but I tend to not like angly wires and verticals out in the field where people will trip on radials and stuff like that. So we have 3 beams, and one of those is a 40 meter rotatable dipole. So, well, not really a beam. Maybe one day it'll grow up and we'll get a director for it. Let's see here, or reflector. Let's see. As well, you can find the station active on D-Star Reflector REF 033 Alpha, which is a dedicated reflector for radio scouting. And we'll most likely have one of the local repeaters there connected to Echolink to the Star JOTA-365 Star conference room. As well, you can connect directly to the repeaters. I've been assured that they will be connected. We've had to do some repairs and stuff like that on them, and our good friend Chris Hatcher over in West Virginia has been working on those, and I think he's gotten everything tidied up and back online and working, including a couple little coax problems that needed to be sorted out. So those will be there. They will be connectable via All-Star and Echolink. So if you need that information, just look it up in the repeater book. They're right on property at the Summit Bechtel Reserve. And what else? If you need more information, follow KTBSA on Facebook or Instagram. And that's pretty much the only social media stuff that K2BSA does, because it's tied in with the website and everything else, and it makes it easy for us. So yeah, check us out. We'll be there July 22nd through the 30th. I have people on the ground from the 18th, July 18th to the 30th. Well, technically to the 1st. I think we have a few people heading out on that Saturday, but I hope to be gone by Friday. So, at least in theory, that's sort of how it works. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, and I say every 4 years. The last one was in 2023. Since COVID messed up the 2021 Jamboree, that pushed it 2 years out. We've been trying to get back onto our schedule. So every 2 years, there's either the National Scout Jamboree or the World Jamboree that happens somewhere else in the world. So a scout has normally an opportunity to run both events in their scouting lifetime or whatever. They're scouting as an adult, generally like you have to be 14 and up. So pretty much high school age in order to go to some of these national and world events. So they like having them 2 years apart. So there's a possibility that you will overlap both events within the context of your scouting career. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, that's all I have on that. Sorry.
It's cool that they get to do that. So
Yep, and it's fun too for the adults. The adults kind of have some fun. At least my staff, it always seems to like playing radio and likes getting people on the radios and stuff like that for that length of time. We normally get about 4,000 or so kids on the radio, which is really good. We normally do about it's a little over 300 merit badges. There's a potential that we'll have some kind of dignitary from DC show up, which might throw us off a day because sometimes they have to shut down programs for those kind of like either presidential, vice presidential, defense, whatever, Department of War, whatever, visits. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. It has happened. It didn't happen in 2023. But I did happen before that. It's definitely 2019 at the World Jamboree. 2017 there was a visit to. I was trying to remember. I can't remember all of them.
what do you have to do in order to get the ham radio merit badge?
So they have a pamphlet for it, and they basically have to sit through a class of some sort and then show proficiency at doing some of the tasks outlined in the radio merit badge. So in this case, it's like drawing a block diagram for like a radio and an antenna, real simple stuff, drawing some waveforms and stuff like that. And then they have to get on the radio and make a contact. Now they do have separate components. They can do an amateur radio direction finding component instead of the radio contact, which I believe will also have available to us through the STEM program, because there is some people doing, at least they told me this. I don't know for sure. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what comes out of that. I mean, this is still like, for some reason, they're still planning this. And I'm like, we're beyond the time we can plan it. If
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're like most of the stuff, I put together an operations guide that literally looks the same every time that we do it. Like we do the same thing every time. We rinse and repeat. We have a program ready to go. So yeah, anytime we have to add different things like, doing an ISS contact or doing this or doing balloons and stuff like that, it really just complicates things. And then I have to get like special people involved that know exactly how to do that, so we can do it without making us look like we don't know what we're doing. Yeah. Some of us are just like, contesters and stuff like that. Like we know how to use the radio really well. We know how to get kids on the radio very well, but yeah, launching a balloon with a payload on it, yeah, that takes a bit more skill than you think.
Right, yeah.
Not like you get a party balloon and just, I'm just going to attach this little bleepy box on it and call it good. Yeah, I mean, I watched a guy do like 3 of them at 2017 or 20, we did in 2019. And I was at the World Jamboree that we had there. And yeah, I think like 2 of them ran into problems.
Nice.
One went off without a hitch, and then they were all pretty much dead before the Jamboree was over because they had encountered storms because of the time period we launched them. So
nice.
Yeah. So
Alrighty then.
kind of like a low. Yeah, I like the things that we can do and execute, and I can measure
Somewhat
success.
flawlessly. Yeah.
I can measure the success. I mean, some stuff is like, yeah, it seems like a really good idea, but it's really hard to measure the success of that. So
Right.
let's move on to open source and Linux topics. And I've been yakking. Why don't you take this?
Okay, well, our first open source Linux topic is Ubuntu is adding AI-powered voice input to all text fields. And Canonical's VP of Engineering, John Seeger, at the Ubuntu Summit, said the distro will soon let users press a button and talk into any field you would previously type in. A small on-device AI language parsing model like Whisper will power the feature. It's part of a wider push to integrate AI features into Ubuntu this year, with founder Mark Shuttleworth aiming to position Ubuntu as the OS for agentic AI. AI features in Ubuntu will be shipped as snap packages. Users will be free to uninstall a kill switch of sorts. The aim is to ship the AI-powered text-to-speech in Ubuntu 26.10 by default, though whether it's on by default or an ideally, quote-unquote, opt-out preview feature is to be determined, as is whether it'll ship alongside other planned AI feature integrations. And this came from OMG Ubuntu.
Yes, and Cheryl put this all these show notes together, and she got the same source on all these stories.
Yeah.
OMG Ubuntu. It's a great site. I do love the news source. I started noticing as I was doing the links. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's so yeah. I don't know. They say like a couple of things there in that make people unhappy. Obviously, Snap being one of those things.
And AI probably being the other thing.
Yeah,
so
there's like a couple of trigger words in there, and whether it'll be on by default, like you have no choice. Hello, Microsoft and Copilot.
Right.
Yeah. This is why people are definitely not happy with Ubuntu and not happy with the direction. So, I think Ubuntu's going to be like the enemy number 2 after Windows. We'll see how this progresses, and we'll see how it lands later this year in October when they get that 2610 out, and we'll see what kind of fallout there is from that. Well, here's another story from OMG Ubuntu. This is good for all you LibreOffice people. A pop of color is coming to LibreOffice. LibreOffice's 26.8 tabbed UI, also known as a notebook bar, and modeled after the ribbon in Microsoft Office. Yay, Microsoft. Can show a colorful background when the application theming is enabled under Tools, Options, Appearance. A blue shade is used by default, but you can pick or set any color you like in the customization section. First selected the Writer, Calc, Impress, or Data notebook bar value, then use the drop-down to change the color. Click Apply, and you'll see it in action. You'll also be able to see your preferred color background when using the tabbed compact mode as well, albeit to less obvious effect, given it's more of a narrow strip. But since LibreOffice 26.8 is in active development, this and other designed wrinkles are expected. There's over 2 months of development and refinement still to come. So it comes out in August there, 26.8. Because they're all date-based. If you find a standard toolbar humdrum but want LibreOffice's other theming and customization options don't liven up, enabling a tabbed UI with the application theming is the feature you may want to try when this build goes stable. So, check it out. I know I occasionally use LibreOffice. I don't even think about it anymore. I just sort of have it on every box.
Yeah, I use it constantly. So
yeah, pretty much to open up spreadsheets and stuff like that. I don't really use the Writer very often. I don't use the other apps very often. I think the Calc is the only thing I use with probably like a daily usage. I think most of my other stuff has all gone to like Google Docs or something like that, using some online documentation or document generator instead, just so other people can access it and stuff like that. Check it out. OMG Ubuntu, LibreOffice's new tabbed UI, because they want to be just like Microsoft.
of course. gotta have competition there. So yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe if it's colorful enough, then you can go, hey, don't use the Microsoft stuff, use LibreOffice. So
Yeah. I remember when they
it'll
put
work.
that ribbon in, like a lot of people were unhappy when Microsoft put the ribbon in.
Yeah.
An
Yeah,
ugly
well,
interface.
yeah. So we'll see what happens with it. So our next little tidbit here is Linux 7.1 has changes galore. And Linus Torvalds has announced the release of 7.1 with a rewritten NTFS file system driver, battery porting for Apple Silicon devices, and a Steam Deck OLED audio fix. Other notable changes include improved power managed switching and AMD CPUs, performance gains for Intel Arc Battle Mage graphics, and unusually, a big set of legacy hardware removals that saw over 140,000 lines of code being dropped. The loss of legacy hardware drivers has a purpose. A leaner kernel is a more maintainable kernel, and its developers no longer carry the burden of having to fix security flaws found by AI models and obsolete drivers to support ancient hardware few people ever use. What's been added is more newsworthy than what's been junked.
So that's why we're going to talk about what's been junked.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So, and the things that were removed were the 140,000 lines of code is gone, including legacy features like the ISDN support, ham radio AX.25 networking, UDP Lite, and the old CAIF protocol, Bluetooth CMTP, and older networking drivers. An uptick in AI-generated bug reports against unmaintained drivers that nobody uses on hardware few people now own was causing headaches for the maintainers. Ditching the code dials down the noise and reduces the kernel's attack surface. Bus mount support is gone too. And this came from OMG Ubuntu.
Yep. It's time to clutch your pearls because yeah, they took the old hacker out there and hacked off a lot of limbs and tumors, as they would like to call it, off the kernel. And apparently, there's also been a pretty big uptick not only in the bug reports from AI, but people using AI generated code as well to patch the kernel. And I believe that stuff is getting in there. Even Linus Torvalds himself is using AI to do stuff. So expect that to be more of a common stance inside of the kernel. So, but I know I've heard complaints from various podcasters about that. However, in the right hands, AI generated code can be properly reviewed and can be properly brought in and merged in with mainline code. But yeah, it does make lots of mistakes and stuff like that. That's why you need to have competent people at the wheel. You just don't want people, vibe coding from home and then putting stuff into the kernel. I mean, that kind of is the equivalent of the people that would go into the kernel into the various comment files and remove spaces or put spaces in there so they can get credit for doing patches to
something
the kernel.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Before AI, we had stupid people. So now we have people that think they're trying to help or possibly trying to be nefarious about doing patches and pull requests. But hopefully it's all well intended and the people using the tools are using them properly. So there's not a bunch of critical and high bugs sitting there in the code source that is running all of our computers here in Linux and the Ham Shack. Because we need a good, clean Linux kernel to operate everything we do in this free and open source software world.
Yes.
Alrighty. So that gets us down to the Linux and the Ham Shack topics. And Cheryl found us a bunch of interesting things here. I didn't get a chance to dig into them beyond just doing a quick security code review on everything, which will kind of give you an indication of which of these is actually being helmed by somebody that is cognizant of what the little AI stuff is doing, or is writing the code themselves. It'll be obvious here in a minute. So we'll let Cheryl open up with the first one.
Alrighty then. The N5 SAC Ham Club is to keep Ham.Live net management tool running. With the recent announcement that Ham.Live would be going offline on June 30th, the N5 SAC Ham Club stepped up to keep the service alive. The club is currently running a beta instance of Ham.Live on a new server and is seeking the help of hams to beta test the new service. Ham.Live provides net logging and real-time chat options for anyone conducting or participating in a net. N5 SAC felt the service was exceptional and as a result created a campaign to keep it going. If you'd like to beta test the new Ham.Live instance, head over to the N5 SAC website to learn more. Ham.Live is also available as an open source project for anyone interested in self-hosting their own instance. And I got this information from Amateur Radio Daily.
Right, and I stuck the old AI bot at the code base and said, hey, let's do a security review on this. And I did the same review on all of these. And this one has 3 critical high bugs or vulnerabilities, 4 medium, and 4 low. So 3 high, 4 medium, 4 low. 3 high are pretty significant ones. I wouldn't self-host this without at least addressing those minimally. And then some of the medium ones, probably borderline high, not critical for sure, but probably would review those as well. But yeah, that's in the actual main branch of the GitHub. So buyer beware on that stuff. Yeah. The next one here is OscarWatch Tracker. This is a desktop satellite tracking for amateur radio operators. OscarWatch shows where AMSAT spacecraft are, predicts passes over your station, works out Doppler corrected uplink and downlink frequencies, and can drive your rotator and radio during a pass, all from one map-centered window. It's centered spelled the British way, so you can probably guess where this is from. Map and Skyplot has a subpoint, ground track, footprint, and polar view from your QTH, optional DX station marker, and live azimuth elevation at the remote grid with a focus satellite, status bar map, time, and buttons. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Pass list has upcoming passes with max elevation and time to acquisition of signal. Right-click a row for a polar map pass plot at your QTH. There's a frequency panel that is good for looking at the transponder modes that you can select from. Live uplink, downlink with your Doppler adjustments and RF or RX offsets. Let's see, optional automations for your rotator tracking and cat control. I'll have to see exactly what he's using. Probably most likely Ham.Lib and rig for rig control D and stuff like that. That's the easiest way to get that implemented. Optional extras has voice satellite rising alerts, some wave recordings that you can do for the passes, and cloud log frequency sync. Cloud log, GPS NMEA serial for station position and optional UTC for tracking. OscarWatch does not decode telemetry or replace your logging software. It is a pass tracking and station assistant tool for the shack or field. And this was, we got in the show notes, we have it linked to the GitHub. And Cheryl saw this information on the Amateur Radio Daily blog page, I believe that is. And a security code review for this was critical and high, 0, medium, 2, and low or informational, 6. And yes, they were, even the mediums were kind of like, meh. it's fine. Yeah. So yeah, this one is actually being properly worked on by Peter. Is doing a good job. Maybe one day we'll talk to Peter. I know we tried to talk to him back in episode 304, so it's been a minute. But yeah, this is looking pretty cool. He has some other projects we talked about in previous episodes here that he's been working on. So he must be getting the bug back into developing applications. So kind of excited to see his take on developing some of these tools. And Cheryl, take the next one.
The last one is Meshyface. which is a chat-first Meshtastic dashboard that runs as a single Python service and serves as a single-page web UI over HTTP. HTTP. It has chat plus direct peer conversations, network workspace for map, topology, top 10 rankings, node details, and on-demand history views, console workspace for live packet and log output, apps workspace with games, plus BBS and files tabs where those features are enabled, settings workspace with radio, device, connectivity, location, channels, tickers, lists, appearance, and about panes, and SQLite backed history, search, rollups, theme persistence, and custom telemetry rule persistence. And the link in the show notes is for the GitHub page, but I also saw this information on Amateur Radio Daily. And Bill has some security code reviews to cover here.
Yeah, the security code review, again, critical and high, 2 findings, medium, 3 findings, low informational, 2 findings. So yeah, need to be careful on these guys before you consider even putting these on your system because they come prepackaged with problems that need to be addressed right off the bat. Now this one is pretty cool. This Meshyface, yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like if you do a lot of stuff with Meshtastic, which that's really what this is for. It's a full visual dashboard, including map overlay of all the stations in the area, and it almost made me buy a Meshtastic radio on Prime Day thing here. Even though there's nobody in town that actually uses it. I think my son says he can see like 4 people, 4 other nodes in town from his house, and we kind of live, at the top of the valley, so we can see everything. They're not long distance radios by any mean, but in general, line of sight is not normally an issue from our houses because we're fairly high in the neighborhood, let's say. But this is probably the most interesting one, only because I don't really know much about using Meshtastic by itself. So this kind of intrigued me more when I started looking at the screenshots and everything else. And I'm always interested in satellite tracking, so I'm definitely going to install the OscarWatch Tracker. I just didn't get time to do it today. Is there a particular reason you picked these 3, Cheryl?
No, I ran across them in the Amateur Radio Daily information. And when I went to the GitHub pages, they looked really cool. So, and that's, and I saw that OscarWatch was part of the cloud log stuff. So I was like, oh, well, okay, cool. Yeah. And then Meshyface looked really cool too. So I was like, we need some information. These look cool. Let's go with these. So that's why I picked them.
Good picks. I really like them. So, why don't you go ahead and handle the announcements and feedback?
Okay.
I'll look through my mail and see if we got any feedback. I don't think we did.
I didn't see anything in mine. So for our announcements this week, since apparently we have no feedback, as always, we need help supporting the show. And you can support us via Patreon, PayPal, buying some merch. You can share the podcast via social media and rating us in your podcast applications. We need feedback, comments, questions, show topic ideas. Email us at info@lhspodcast.info. The repeater has been sold. Thank you to everyone who inquired about it. It has gone to a good home. So, and as this will continue on for several months, there is a memorial service that will be happening at the house here in Missouri for Russ. It will be on November 1st, 2026. Everyone's welcome. If you'd like to join us, please send an email to info@lhspodcast.info and we'll send you more info. Or you can pop over to the Facebook event page and the link will be in the show notes for that. And it pretty well has everything you ever need to know about this area. Things to do, places to go, people to see, whatever. So I'm trying to keep that updated as best of my ability. And I've decided to kind of throw a fun twist into the food for the event because it is being held during Day of the Dead. So we're going to have a food truck here, and I'm paying for everybody's meal, of course. But we're going to have tacos centered around some of Russ's favorite foods. So there will be a spaghetti and meatballs taco, for instance. So, which I've been told they're really good. So I, of course, can't have them because of the gluten. But, there will be other things there, many other things that are gluten-free, alpha-gal friendly, etc. So we'd love to have everybody join us. It's going to be a fun day, I have a feeling. So a few tears, I'm sure, but otherwise lots of laughter. That's the big thing. So
awesome. I'm excited to go to it.
Cool.
I did have one feedback on myself. For those of you that listen to the podcast and perhaps at the last episode and it didn't have an intro sound, it was silent. I realized that about 30 minutes after I published it, that somehow in my main MP3 file, the intro, when I wrote it out, got taken out. There was just dead silence before Cheryl came in and introduced the podcast. Now, I had since then fixed it. So hopefully most people don't listen to the podcast that early in the morning. Because, I fixed it, put the file back up in the system. Only if you happen to, your phone had been checking for podcasts during that 30-minute window that I had published, would you have gotten the bad file. But it can happen. It happens to everybody. But yeah, let me go ahead and cover the subscribers and supporters here. We had 2 free Patreons join us. We had Egon and Kev 2600. Over on PayPal, we had Paul Mooney and Jeff Zimmerman join us there. Facebook, none. Instagram, none. Let's see. Twitter, we had 3 people. We had M Unsupervised. We had Claire 17. And we had Victoria join us there. Over on Mastodon, we had Grant join us. On Discord, we had 3 new people pop in. I had Roddy Bandito. We don't know if these are amateur radio people or not. We'll just see. Insane Splash. There was one that joined that was a spammer that I killed and put away or whatever and deleted and then blocked from our channel. That's the thing of having an open invite out there. But we also had Joe N7AGV, who's apparently a general and a VE. So welcome, Joe, to Discord. And then our live show participants, we had Tony, K4XSS, Tucker, K5FAZ, sporting the brand new shiny call sign from that. Although he had problems a little while ago and has since disconnected. He'll have to get this in the podcast recording. A good job on getting that call sign. And of course, we have our good friend W4DPE. He just popped in at the last minute here, and we got him in the list. He murdered Tucker and replaced him. Okay, so there you go. You probably shouldn't have admitted that on the Ixnay on the Erdermay. No. I'm sure Tucker's fine. He's a skin suit, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we got. Cheryl, why don't you put the bow on this thing, get us out of here?
All right, that brings us down to the end of the show. Thanks for listening to episode 620. We'll catch you next time with our featured topic episode. For Russ, K5TUX, I'm Cheryl, W5MOO.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD 73.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a community-sponsored podcast. Live recordings are Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Central Time. Our homepage can be found at lhspodcast.info. You can support the podcast via Patreon at patreon.com/LHS podcast. We're also on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Mastodon. Contact us via email at info@lhspodcast.info or via voicemail at 190954777469. That's 1909 LHS show. We also have merch. So until next we meet, remember to always heed your hedonism.